Hi, I'm Greg Dell here with attorney Stephen Jessup, and we want to talk to you about Cigna long-term disability insurance buyouts. Now, probably on a weekly basis, we get calls from multiple clients who are either interested in a lump sum disability buyout with Cigna, or they have been approached by Cigna with an offer for a buyout of their disability policy. So first, Steve, what I want to ask you is, what is a lump sum disability buyout?
Essentially, a lump sum buyout is the insurance company, in this case Cigna, is wanting to pay you a certain amount of money to basically relinquish your rights under that policy. You'll no longer have coverage or anything that's ancillary with that in lieu of this of the lump sum amount that they want to pay you.
So when they offer you this lump sum, does that mean that you'll be able to make another claim on the policy?
No, once it's done, when they offer you a lump sum, if it's accepted, you are basically relinquishing all your rights to that policy. You no longer have any coverage. You can't file any future claims. The policy is effectively done.
Is the disability carrier obligated to offer a buyout of a disability policy?
No, at no point are they obligated under any term of the policy that they have to offer it to you. That's why you'll see a lot of discrepancies in the amounts that they will offer. A lot of people think it's not a fair amount or that it should be more, but really, if you are interested in it, you're kind of at the mercy to a certain extent of Cigna as to how much they are willing to pay.
If a potential claimant, if someone's on disability with Cigna or Lena, Life Insurance Company of North America, and they're considering a lump sum buyout, they haven't been approached by the company or anything like that, what are some of the factors that go into whether or not you think they would be a good candidate for a lump sum buyout?
First and foremost for me, if they're only been on claim for a couple months, a year, if you haven't transitioned from an own occupation to an any occupation period, there's less likely a chance that they will consider it. If you haven't been approved for Social Security, if there's a pending workers' compensation, anything that may be considered other income that can offset your benefit, if that's still outstanding, usually Cigna's going to want to wait to see what happens so they can collect any potential repayment and then also figure out what your net benefit would be so they can calculate the financial value of your policy to the policy term limits and then be able to offer some type of buyout amount at then. But that's not to say that at any point they will. Cigna has in the past said, no, we're not interested on certain policies. They will take a look at the medical condition. If there's a chance of recovering and get back to work at some point, that's going to reduce it. And I think, unfortunately, if they believe that you are at a greater risk to pass away before the end of the policy as well, sometimes they would rather pay the benefit and see as opposed to lump sum the policy out.
Now, from your experience with Cigna, is there room to negotiate a buyout offer if a claimant's calling us and says, hey, I received a random letter from Cigna, they made an offer to me?
From my experience, Cigna is willing to listen to counters. Sometimes when they do call, say, hey, they've offered me X amount, but I really want, sometimes they want twice the amount of that. Realistically, that's not going to happen. There is some movement, there is some possibility back and forth, but it's definitely a lot of times people aren't necessarily overly excited about the amount that they're being offered.
So in your experience, you've been able to get increased offers for claimants once an offer has been made already?
Correct.
And what about, I've had clients in the past who've been offered money by Cigna and then years later they get cut off by Cigna. Does a lump sum buyout mean that the person is going to get paid forever and the company is never going to bother them again?
No, the offer of the lump sum buyout is how your claim is, what your condition is at that particular moment in time. If it's not a good amount or amount you want to take and you don't take it, that's fine. Cigna I don't find to be one of the retaliatory companies when they offer you a buyout and you refuse it. But if a couple years down the road they decide they're going to review your claim, maybe your doctor says, I think you can go back to work. They do video surveillance and they capture you doing things that you said you couldn't. Obviously, that's going to make them investigate and potentially deny it. So even though an offer of a lump sum buyout does at that moment in time speak as to Cigna's view of the strength of your claim, that's not necessarily going to go, into the future.
All right, so there's no guarantee that just because they made you a buyout, they're going to pay you forever.
That's right.
All right, a lot of claimants call us and say, I'd love to have a lump sum of money and be done with Cigna, but if we approach them and I hire our law firm to approach them, is that going to raise any kind of red flag with the claim?
I don't believe it raises a red flag. it's a very common thing. The insurance companies do it for a business move. They want to see if there's a way they can maybe get out from under the policy at a discounted rate by offering the buyout. And the same way, I haven't had any experience where all of a sudden when there's a request for a buyout, the insurance company's all of a sudden suspicious that the person is, eligible to go back to work or go on. They do understand as well. They're a large company. This is what they do. They do understand that some people would like to see if there's a possibility of just, being done with the policy. And Cigna is usually very open to the possibility of exploring that.
What, in your opinion, are the benefits of a claimant taking a lump sum disability buyout?
The benefits would be, a lot of people say, I can't deal with the stress. They keep contacting me. I'm worried about them denying the claim. Forms, my doctors are sick of filling out these forms. So some of the benefits will be, A, you're going to be done. You're not going to have any more interaction with Cigna. You're going to get the amount of money in hand. So you can at least plan for the future. Policies do sometimes have a very, very limited right of survivorship where if you unfortunately died, it may pay 3 months to a beneficiary. Other than that, there's nothing. So some people even think, well, I would like to be able to plan, or I want to be able to pay off my mortgage. So there are those financial considerations that can make it advantageous for the insured.
One of the other advantages that I commonly find is that some claimants feel as if, I'm thinking in the back of my mind that I may be able to return to some kind of work, but I'm not really sure if I can do it. And if I do go and try to work for a couple months and I make X amount of dollars, then my disability policy is going to end. So I think I've represented a lot of claimants who say, I'd like to get a lump sum buyout of money. I'd like to try to go back to work and not take the risk that if I try to work, Cigna's going to say, well, we don't think you're disabled anymore. So they're kind of damned if they do, damned if they don't. Try to work. Cigna, denies them, and then they lose their whole policy. So if you get a lump sum buyout, a lot of people don't realize you're done with the company. I mean, you could take a lump sum buyout and the next day go play baseball for a professional team. Obviously, the people getting a lump sum buyout aren't able to do that. But the point is that you get a complete release. You release them, they release you, and you're free to do whatever you want. The buyout has no impact whatsoever on your Social Security payments if you're getting those. It's taxed in the same manner that however your monthly benefits were being taxed. So a lot of people love that peace of mind of just being done with the company. I guess, when we talk about the pros, what could be a negative?
Obviously, one of the biggest cons, if they're going to buy out the policy, it's at a rate that's much less than if they were to pay you over the course of the claim to age 65. It's always going to be less. Even down to present value calculations of what the money's worth in today's dollars. And for some people, they have to make the decision in their sense that this may be the only money that they have that they base their payment of their bills or mortgage, whatever the case may be. So if it's not an amount that can last, it may not be wise. Or, as you had said, if this is in a situation where the person thinks they may be able to get back to work, well, then they could be selling themselves short, and that money may not be able to last the duration of for as long as they think they may need it.
Right. I always tell the claimants, look, when you hire us, we'll try to get you the biggest number possible. Until the number's on the table, you don't know what's available for you to even consider. Once you do get the number, you need to consider what impact that will have on your life between having the money now, having the guarantee and certainty that you're going to get the money now versus hoping that Cigna is going to continue to pay you every month and hoping that obviously nothing happens to you in the next X amount of years of which you get an advance payment, and hoping that maybe you could do something better with the money over the next couple years than it would be to continue to get this stream of payments. So everyone has their own reasons for wanting a buyout. We've basically seen every single reason there is out there. We're able to help you. We have special contacts with Cigna that we go to directly to assist with these buyouts. So give us a call. We don't charge you any fees or costs unless we're able to make a recovery for you. So there's really no risk in speaking to us and no risk in trying to get a buyout with Cigna. We look forward to speaking with you.